Good morning. What a gap. Wow. I didn't see the percentage of this, but it's got to be a whopper. And question is it an igniting gap? And I guess time is going to tell, but it's right up into the second pivot over there at resistance. So it's certainly not something I think anybody should be buying into at this point, at this time anyway. We'll see if this thing can consolidate up here. I would suspect over the coming days, you would think at least a retest of the 200 MA. It really should not fill the gap, I would think, until sometime next year, if that's going to be in the cards. And you can see by my cursor, it came up to 414, just above that pivot high there. So huge gap. So where do we go from here? Well, was that support and it couldn't break, and now it's at resistance and it's got a void below. And so the question becomes now, change this to green. Can what was resistance become support? And it's right there. Just moving this along so I can see where this is actually at. It's right on top of these pivots here. As far as any particular day goes, you would think that a move like this, it can't go much further. We'll see, and we'll void below. We'll see how much it might pull back, and we'll look at the futures, and we'll go to SPX, and you can see it backed off right from these pivot highs up there, and so no gap on SPY, but you can see the big wide range bar, and now there's nothing below here. And even on a 1 minute chart, you can see it pulled back. I usually have this on a 5 minute. I flipped it over to 1 to see if it would pull back into this little area of here, and it stopped at 4,100. So a reasonable pullback after a move like that, and then a V bottom, and it's holding here. So continues to be bullish price action, but as the markets open up, obviously we're going to see what they're going to do. Maybe it tags 4,200, and I would just guess that it would be over from there. So there's actually premium, and this is coming up. There's actually premium at 4,210, which is still pretty damn close in SPX, but it's, this is going to open up, up here and above the next level. So, watch it 5 minutes or so, and just every trade is about a belief. You believe that it could get through that after such a gap, and my initial thought is no, it can't. But so this is going to, just looking at the weekly chart, it's negating this red bar. We still got multiple days to go in this week. This being about right in this area, you can see where my cursor is. Just looking at the size of this gap again, it's tremendous. And I think you would think that we're at 2% inflation with a move like this, and it's still 7%. So I don't, just looking out, is this something so bullish, or is it just an end of year, window dressing and so on? I think it's the latter, because there's really nothing here in longer term to be bullish about with inflation that high. And we'll see if they slow down with the interest rates, but technically the retracement of this far is pretty damn impressive off of the low. All right, so SPX, Yes, I looked. Let me go back and look. There was premium at 39.65, which you would think is a no-brainer. Let me just go back here and check it. And it'll probably, I think prices will come in and no, that's not even what it was when I first looked. Now you got to go 39.75. And again, just looking at what you think is possible today, it better not be, right? When you look, with a gap like that, you figure even coming down and filling, coming even close somewhere down here to get all the way here, something's going to be drastically wrong and it's going to be obvious to everybody. So, any credit spread trade is all about this premium at a level, and I don't think it's going there. Ideally, it would be below here, but still, opening up, up in this area, it's impossible that it would go down there. Right? And, you use the word like impossible sparingly, if at all, when it comes to the markets. But I mean, can you imagine this thing turning into a giant red bar? I just can't. I can't. So I think that's a no-brainer credit spread, and it'll probably increase in premium because I just have to believe it's going to come in a bit. Yeah, no, that's the standard belief with a gap like that, a 50% retracement. As we all know, there's nothing below here, and gapping up there. Does this pivot high hold? And we're going to see together. We're going to see together. And so I'll just drag this line up here and look for 4,100 and possibly the 200 MA. So just set an alert right on the 200 MA. You can on your platform, you just click it, set an alert there. And this will flip up. Once this opens, it's got to flip up a little bit. Qs underperforming, right? Relatively. Not getting up to the pivot, and still an impressive move coming out the resistance, negating that red bar. And there's really nothing there. 200 MA, set an alert. There we go. Alert set. And I would think that would be a potential, even as much as this is moved. This is holding here. You can see it's making pivot lows and pivot highs. Any buyers come in, to some extent, foolish buyers or just scalpers off of a 1-minute chart with an upside target of the 200. Maybe that gets tagged. That was this. Gapping above those pivots. Again, 200 MA. Let me pull back into here. Well, that's pretty close by. Up at resistance. And so pretty stiff area of resistance, 3 pivots up there. It was tested once, twice. So unlikely that's going to get much further. Right, after breaking the pivot, coming all the way back up. And so up to the next pivot, looking over to the left there. Wouldn't think that's going to get much further. How about that guy getting arrested yesterday, or in the news this morning? You would figure that had to be inevitable. $50 MA resistance there for Bitcoin, and that joining the party. Is the dollar down? It should be. Yep, gapping down below those levels there, but still into an area of major support. You know what? You got to be careful here. You know what? Big gap, dollar pulling back into this area. This could reverse. Interest rates are down a bunch here. Just pulling in, coming. This also coming down into that support area. Pulling back enough where it should begin to stabilize. Interestingly, you looked at the 13-week, and it's gapping up. You think it would just be flat, but it's gapping up. Well, yeah, I guess they were figuring that they were letting him talk. I think we were all surprised that he wasn't arrested already, but I figure they have to collect their data, and I guess being in the Bahamas, they were going to be able to go get him anyway. So. Inflation, playing catch up there, and gold moving up. So just thinking this through here, dollar going down, interest rates down, maybe a turn. This is just been moving up since the market bottomed, right? Give or take. What's here? Yeah. From that second pivot there, it's been moving up. And lastly, crude oil, bouncing up here. So look, inflation, gold going up finally, interest rates coming down, oil's had this big correction. So recession, market interest rates coming in, and we're going to have recession or not. I think, the markets just don't care about that right now, since it's the end of the year. So we have all of these yield curves still saying it's going to happen. And interesting, markets are always interesting. We looked at the VIX the other day, being down at support. I have that chart, and now it's coming down here. So I'm interested to see what this does here today. So, again, big gap up, and we'll see how much it can hold on to it and where this goes today. Measured move in the dollar on the weekly. Well, to have a measured move, you've got to have an attempt to turn, which there was. But you need something more impressive than this to look at it as a measured move, meaning a larger green bar rather than stabilization here. So I don't know, Thane. I wouldn't look at it that way. It's still in this support area, and we'll see what it does in the coming days, and then into the end of the year. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Well, we said there was gap risk into CPI, but boy, I didn't expect this much of a reaction. Just shows all the pent up energy, which to me is a very bullish signal. We could go back ever since this low was a PPI number, a gap reversal. that every time bad news has been negated, with the exception of this Powell speech. So I was shocked that that retraced over 100%. I don't know, Joe. I had my new computer and I just didn't get everything downloaded right, but tomorrow or maybe even this afternoon I'll have it. But I was talking about the big gap reversal in October, and then the Powell speech bar. I didn't expect that to get negated. But Alex asked me yesterday, what's your bias but for, these pending news items? I said, easy. It's a no-brainer. I'm bullish over yesterday's high, bearish under yesterday's low. So it was a no-brainer bias. No, I don't. I honestly don't. And so I hate gaps like this. Like, what do you want me to do with this? I mean, so I've been sending alerts of selling into strength. We sold a couple things pre-market. If you don't get Telegram, use common sense or ask me about a particular trade, and we obviously have to play defense on the shorts. We have a couple call spreads against us, and on the shorts, equities, we aren't that short. We're definitely more long than. Let's see, the only shorts we have are Honeywell, which is gapping over the stop. So we'll use 30-minute high. That was a breakdown trade. And Jack Henry. Can't tell where it's gapping, but that was a breakdown from 1, 2, 3. And we did a bear put debit spread on AMD. And I said yesterday, I don't like this reversal. I'll cut exposure if you don't want this gap risk. And we also have a call spread that's against us. So other than those, we're on the bullish side on in the advisory letter. But new trades, it's going to be very, very difficult here. And we still have FOMC risk. But as Greg also said, do I think that whatever the Fed says that we're going to negate today's bar? No, I don't. With 99% certainty. Could it happen? And we get that big old, ugly red bar down? Of course we can. Of course. But I'm telling you, based on my experience and the size of this gap and the way it's holding pre-market, there's so much more money that's bullish right now. All right, so Tim and YouTube's asking about, HS. I just covered both of those. They're Honeywell and AMD. I just talked about them both. We're just going to try to get out on anything against us on a pullback. I don't know what else to say. Tim's asking about PIN. PIN. It's we're gonna have bullish patterns all over the place. We're gonna have bullish, reversals. We're gonna have gap ups, and we're gonna now with the gap up, we're gonna have. Well, this one's not really a bad end of day decline, because it didn't skyrocket into the close. So my answer to you is on a pullback. Well, actually, now that this chart is rescaled, if you just go look at yesterday's data, it is an end of day rally on the 15-minute chart for the last hour and a half into the close. It was straight up. But now, since we're up so much here, it's kind of scrunching that. It doesn't even look as extended. But I surely can't. I have zero interest on long trades here, not only because of the gap, but because of FOMC, unless it's a core trade. Like Alex, remember we were looking at Ring? or I was yesterday. Yeah, we went through my core list. My ring alarm went off. Look at this, could be the long-term entry, but with the gap, you need a big stop. That's all. Stop probably down here at the 50 MA. So $5 stop. You can buy a ring as a core. Thomas GSK 3671. I don't know what to do with that. You know, my answer on most of these is just going to be buy a pullback. Yeah, there's so many bullish things. All right. Oh, Plaid. We did one earnings trade is all yesterday. We're getting the gap up on earnings. So I said bid 2 cents to close LRCX here. I had on my long list. It's gapping up though. You know, we're going to have excessive gaps all over the place, which is annoying for new trades, and it's good for open bullish trades. Yeah, Raul, I said I've been talking for a long time here about bullish trades, open trades, how we're going to manage them. So I don't have a rule for you at the open on bear call credit spreads against us, other than I need time to see how they react because of the big gap. I don't have, Greg, if you have anything else, I'm all ears. When you get a big old gap, that's our rule. Just wait 30 minutes until I get more information. It doesn't mean I won't change my bias in 5 or 10 minutes or whatever the case. All right, so and to it, this was the chart of the week that I posted on Sunday. So I said sell, I forget, a third or a half, but this tomorrow, MT Live on multiple time frames, we had daily, weekly, monthly in alignment, and so that we're getting paid. So I'm just going to take it. Well, whatever I said, a third or a half. Microsoft, I said just move stop 5-minute low. Just take the gains. Half or all. This ISRG has been on my watch list for a while. That's gapping up. That's still a buy on a pullback, but you can see 283 is way the heck up here. Myrna, big old gap one. Wow, that's a shock gap. It's gapping over both of these red bars. But I don't know what to do with it. Except say, yeah, of course. Except say it's bullish, watch it on a pullback. That's going to be my standard answer here. BMO, I saw this post-market yesterday selling, gapping down. I don't know if the news was secondary offer or whatever the case. TRMB, ugly gap down here. The Dow 30, there's not a single red. Wow, Microsoft up 10. Home Depot up 11. Man, look at, wow. That is a big gap on Home Depot. I guess, interest rate sensitive stuff. So housing's going to be ripping here. I said I love this weekly chart. Target like 67-ish. That's a very, very bullish consolidation on the weekly on housing. And if it did not gap up, this would be an amazing long over yesterday's high. That's beautiful. So once again, pullback or share size for a big stop. Etsy, we said, was kind of a bull flag looking thing, like everything gapping up. Neo, I like this. Look at this weekly, monthly. We talked about a double bottom on the monthly chart. Somebody said it's a biotech, but that looks great. Let's watch that on a pullback. I'll put him here. That looks great. Ring we talked about, so Plab, we know that's earnings. Here's some other earnings. Gap into 22 and change. That would be a put spread idea, whatever the heck that is. Gap in that's a big gap, $3. That looks like a junky stock. I have no interest. Mesa, poor airline. Talking about relative weakness to the market. Wow. It looks horrible. Poor NLVT looks like it's headed to the graveyard. Joan graveyard. BLBD. No interest. FLNC gapping up. No pattern. Oracle. Machine Gun Sam was talking about doing a short strangle on this yesterday into earnings, the 90 and the 70, and that would, he would be getting paid right now if he took that trade. All right, Adobe. I shorted puts. Did I give it? I did. Why did I give this official, you all? You're right. I didn't post it. Okay, I don't see it here in my notes. Okay, all right. Well, thanks. So I'll do that, you know, when things slow down here. But I'm in it myself. We have an Adobe put spread. I know it has earnings. Yeah, we sold at 300s. So that should have a nice gain. Debbie brought Hack to my attention yesterday, and I said, yes, you could buy it today over yesterday's high, or even into the close. That had a nice little afternoon end of day base breakout. If you did it into, you know, any trade you took in a CPI on the long side, you're getting paid. If you decided to wait, you know, Gap's making it harder, but Hack was a good setup. Debbie found PCG. Gap down, but if it can take out yesterday's high, then it'll be a bear gap negated. ISRG we talked about. Lulu. You know, I was watching this. It's an institutional favorite on earnings, got killed. Bound. Look at that bottoming tail right at the 200. Juniper. We tried selling a put. All right, so I got filled on my Plab at 2 cents. That was my earnings trade. XHE. We're long this in our ETF trader. Up alarm. Yeah, I'll go through all trades later. I just got to reset alarms all over the place, but that's a nice gap. Look at that gap on Qs. My gosh. That is some pent up energy. All right, Microsoft, close Microsoft 6 cents. Yeah, me too, Alex. I am my mindset is taking gains. Absolutely. And you and I have been around the block. You and I have very similar number of aggressiveness of open positions, selling into, you know, this and that. You know, even Doggy Piton. Well, I had an alarm there. There's still no entry, but it's a bull. It's a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. All right, so we're, you know, rolling, the 5 minutes are rolling on everything. So looking at these things gapping against us. Yeah, coin reversed yesterday when Bitcoin got a little bid. Oh, and to it, I had a bid. I got filled on. So yeah, I got filled on my Intuit. We had a 380, 365. Spreads are nuts. All right, well, I said move, stop 30-minute low. All right, so Intuit's fine. I'm out. Let's see what. Oh, nice, Emmanuel. Well, hey, but look at our Microsoft. Are you kidding me, Emmanuel? We sold for $1.60. And then now it's 6 cents. Well, I don't know if I'd call it crazy. I'd call it. All right, so Adobe, I covered half at 65.
Hey, Dan, on Intuit, why not suggest selling a covered call? This has been bottoming for
Well,
several months.
No. We have two. Yes, I will, but we have two trade. I have them in both letters. So yes, good idea. I'll do that on the other one. Good idea. I'm just, hold on, let me get this Adobe out. Because we're up.
They're a little spready, but you can go out next 10 days. The 450s, I would do it. Even 460s, or you could sell for 250.
Yeah. I'm going as fast as I can. But I agree. Yeah, but did you watch my chart of the week on that?
I didn't.
Well, you should.
I started to watch it, and then something got my attention.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. I love it. That's why I made it the chart of the week and put it in both letters. To it. Yeah. Yeah, so the only problem is, you know, you got to own 100 shares, which 100 shares of this expensive stock. Probably McGraw and Alex are the only ones. Not me, that's for sure. All right, Jack Henry also gapped over the stop. Yeah, we only sold 1/3 pre-market of Intuit. Because it's, for the same reason, I think it has more upside. All right, Honeywell, we can now move stop days high to 1990. Actually, so Greg, you might have to help me on some of these against us. Honeywell, we're short and have a call spread. Get out into the gap fill or just stop days high.
1 second. You were short the stock or call
Yeah,
spread?
we have both trades. Yeah, we shorted it right here Friday into the close right there.
You don't have a pointer. That new computer better work. Yeah.
Well, Friday into the close.
Mm. Well, it's coming down pretty hard. You know there's going to be buyers in the gap, but
Okay, so
I mean, I would start tracking 5-minute highs, something like that, or
well, John, I use the term a little differently. I call hope mode. No, that's not looking good. I don't know if it's going to hold here. I hope it does. Kind of like Beyond. Beyond, we were short puts and it was looking ugly yesterday, but we stuck with it and it helped. This one, it went against us, so we're just doing an intelligent management to minimize a loss. So, that's just my little difference of the terminology. Yeah, I'm doing them next, Roger. I'm all into defense mode here, and we have coin also.